Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Cambo Campbell.
Thank you so much for having me at my house.
That's, you're okay. It's going to be awkward the day that I replace you, and I'm still here.
You're still here.
With somebody else.
This is where the equipment is.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be worse when the guy's like, he's just like so much more handsome than you.
Yeah, but like looks a lot like me, but more handsome.
Yeah. Just like if you put your image into an AI generator and said make handsome, that's the guy that's gonna walk in. And and his wife also looks like Stacey. Yeah, just a little bit better looking.
I don't think that's possible, Nelson.
Cambo, that was so disgusting. Yeah, all right. Let's get into this week for just because. This first Reddit on Reddit was actually in the subreddit Ask an Australian. Last week, or maybe the week before, I can't remember, you said, hey, we should use that more often. So I was like, all right, fine, Cambo. Boss of the show, I said.
Until you replace me.
I'll use this one, yeah. That's why you will be getting replaced. Yeah. It's like, oh, man, I hate my boss. Oh, I can just replace them. Yeah. Wouldn't that be so good in the real world? If you're like, my boss sucks. I'll just fire them and hire somebody else in their place that makes me do less work.
Yeah.
Yes, I think this is a flawless system. Okay, this one was by Jackman97.
Hugh Jackman? He doesn't need to ask an Australian.
I think he...
Unless he's lost touch.
Yeah, well, no, I think he might. This is Jackman97, presuming born in the year 97. I don't think
he looks like it.
Yeah, well, that's true. He does, yeah. What are your thoughts when Americans say we don't have freedom in Australia?
Oh, we actually can't talk about that.
Yeah.
They don't like it when we talk about that.
We could get incarcerated.
Hang on just a sec. Hey, don't worry about that. Yeah, guys, there's nothing. So we have people watching us right now.
What are your thoughts, Cambo?
I find it pretty funny.
Yes.
For context, actually, this is something that just came out end of last month, I believe. There is an index that gets, you'll hear Australians brag about this all the time. There's an index that gets released of what they call the most livable cities, but it's actually the livability index. Mm-hmm. It takes into account a lot of things like how easy it is to get work, the pay rate, the housing rate, transport in the city. Essentially, it's a big list to say, if you were to move to this city, how easy is it to live there?
Yeah.
Which is somewhat seen as a rank of like, I would say a sense of freedom in that you could move there and be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Melbourne has been number one in the past. They're no longer number one.
Yeah.
But it just came out end of last month. We're number 3.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think in the top 20, I think there's like 4 or 5 Australian cities in there.
What are ones above there? I had a feeling that
Copenhagen,
like Vancouver was...
Copenhagen is number 1 or 2, and Vienna, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, Toronto, Canada is in there as well.
Yeah.
The most important thing, the reason I bring this up is Melbourne was number 3. Mm-hmm. So quite up there in livability of city. 1 spot ahead of Sydney, which is very funny.
Yeah, that's important.
Because Sydney took that really badly and they complained about it a lot, which I think says a lot about why they're number 4.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If you guys stopped complaining so much, you might be ahead of us. But
if we were number 4, we would have said, fair play, Sydney. You're a great city too. We appreciate it. And then, you know what? We would have been number 3 again.
Yeah. That's just the type of personality that we have in Melbourne.
All of that to say that Australian cities are beautiful to live in. Like they're like world ranked as far as like livability and freedom.
Yeah.
That being said, for some reason we're still part of the monarchy.
Yeah.
In some vague sense that no one seems to care about.
Yeah. That is really a weird part of it, isn't it? Because like no Australian really thinks about that. Like there's seemingly no like. Not really an oversight or anything from...
England has snuck their flag onto our flag.
Yeah.
But apart from that...
Yeah, that's about...
Yeah.
That's about
to show you how little respect I would say our nation which is made of convicts that the Queen or King at the time sent away, we have for the royal family. I actually remember at my work, I said to someone, "Oh, did you hear that the Queen died?" And they said, "Oh, cool."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's true. It is funny because we heard when the Queen died recently how many people were affected in Britain.
Yeah.
You know, by like, oh my God, I can't believe she's dead. It's such a travesty and stuff. And we're like, oh, that's interesting.
She didn't want us anyway.
Yeah. Do you mean the one that's on the coin? Oh, wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, the Queen is on our coin, actually.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, it's funny you talk about livability because we've always been given that, seen that index, and it's funny because probably anybody that's like 10th or lower has never heard of this index before.
Definitely.
It's just only the people in the top 10 that brag about it to other people.
Yes, and no one cares.
And no one else cares.
It's like telling someone else about your holiday.
Yeah.
It's interesting to you, but no one else cares.
Yeah, that's right. But it's nice to say, oh yeah, Melbourne's up there, but without having lived in a different city in the world, I feel like I don't know what the grass is like on the other side, so to speak. Yeah. And although it doesn't necessarily seem greener in certain places, but I think in particular in Canada, I think would be a great place to live, even like kind of Swedenish sort of areas.
Okay, I just tried to Bing.
Yep.
What was the top American city in this list?
Oh yeah.
Just out of curiosity to see relatively where it ranks. But what I've noticed is actually there doesn't seem to be anything that indicates that. In fact, there are separate lists that are just the most livable American cities.
Okay,
I think they've decided, no, we'll do our own, actually. Thank you very much.
Yeah. We had to scroll too far on everybody.
We don't want these non-freedom countries and cities like Copenhagen. Don't make me sick.
Yeah. Well, what's the top? What's the
Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Yep, never would have thought about that.
Yeah. Home of Harvard.
Okay. So, what's interesting then, Cambo, talking about indexes, you said the livable index. Turns out there's one. It's called a freedom index.
Oh, great.
Which is also, I think, put together by...
We just love an index.
We love an index. It's put together by a particular university, I think.
American university?
No, I don't think so.
Well, then it's not free, Nelson, is it?
Hold on, let me...
They probably put this under duress.
Hold on. The Human Freedom Index is co-published by Cato Institute, the Fraser Institute, and the Liberales Institute at the Friedrich Neumann Foundation for Freedom.
Doesn't sound American at all. Friedrich.
None of those sound American. Quite interesting that obviously they have different metrics. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I think I'd say... I'll read this little bit that they've written. Human freedom is an inherently valuable social concept that recognizes the dignity of individuals. Human freedom enables and empowers people to do as they please, free from constraints or punishments, so long as it does not impinge upon the freedom of another. Human freedom plays a huge role in human progress. So, based on kind of that idea, they have, the value of freedom, they have put together this list. I just wanted to really point out being asked this question.
Yeah.
When Americans say, "Are we free or not?"
Yeah, that we haven't incarcerated 1% of our population.
We have not, but we've tried.
Yeah. I mean, technically, we were all incarcerated originally when we came here.
Yeah.
On that ship, like hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah, that's right. Technically, we're all still incarcerated. That's how you achieve maximum freedom.
Yeah.
When everybody's incarcerated and you're like, well, I guess we're all on an even playing field now. Our human freedom score is 8.84, and our rank is number 8 in the world. The United States, human freedom score of 8.73, and human freedom rank of 15.
Oh dear.
So we're a good 7 places ahead of those suckers. But it's interesting because it actually breaks it down a little bit into slightly different categories. Sorry. I mean, there's lots of different ones, but the two kind of ones that they bring up here is there's a personal freedom, and ours is 9.3, and the US is 9.09.
Okay. Yep.
So we're theoretically a little bit ahead there. But economic freedom is 8.2 in Australia and 8.24 in the United States. So I'm actually surprised that one isn't higher in terms of economic freedom there. Only because
you're free to pay for all your healthcare.
Yeah, well, I guess that's
bloody have to have the government pay for it.
No, we could pay for it too. But yes, it's I just kind of thought when you take into account, I don't know, just trading, like world trade, I just would have imagined that the US would have been much higher in that regard than us.
Maybe they would have been like a little bit longer ago. I feel like more of it is now. The trade is exported, especially with China and
that's true.
A couple of different Asian countries actually, I feel like have taken a chunk of trade.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't that what Trump was always shouting about? Bad trade deals or something.
And I guess we do have a lot of natural resources that we mine and export. Particularly, actually, a big one recently has been lithium mines, because obviously we're trying to become more electric all over the world. Cars and stuff need that lithium. So
though ironically, Australia's made it very hard to have an electric vehicle here. Or former governments.
It is. I think it's changing. Has it changed already, or maybe something's coming in?
There are plans to change it. Yeah, our former government was very against electric vehicles.
Yeah. In fact, I had a hybrid car.
You idiot!
And I got a. I initially got a discount on my registration, I think.
Yeah.
And then the new government, well, back then, the older government came in
and
they were like,
government.
no, we won't have any of this. And so, basically they're going to redo that again. But
our former Prime Minister once claimed that electric vehicles are an attack on the weekend. Because you couldn't go away for the weekend in an electric vehicle because he didn't know what he was talking about.
Just what a joke that person is.
Anyway, unrelated, he got a lot of money from oil companies for his campaign. I'm sure that didn't at all factor into that decision.
Just a coincidence. Little coinky dink. I thought just for the fun of it, I'd go through the top 10 countries with the highest human freedom indexes in general.
Bloody Copenhagen. They win again. Actually, I think it was Vienna that won.
Switzerland.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
No, you know what I should do? I should ask you potentially who you think might be on this top 10 list.
Yeah. Well,
countries.
Nordic countries are always up there.
Yeah, right.
Finland?
Yeah. Okay, yep.
Is Finland on there?
Finland is on there, yes.
Yeah. Japan?
Not on there.
Really? Okay.
No.
Japan always ranks quite high. I'm essentially just seeing whether or not it relates to this other index.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And Japan's always quite high on there. What about Canada?
They work a lot, though.
In Japan, their work culture is pretty toxic.
That seems like in terms of freedom, that seems like a real anyway.
And they do have that culture of like, why don't you sleep in this little capsule?
Yeah. But I do like that they've got vending machines everywhere.
Very efficient.
Yeah.
What about Canada?
Canada is on the list. Yeah. Yes. In front of us, in front of Finland, they're number 6.
Number 6. So number 1 is so did you say Denmark?
No, Switzerland.
Is Denmark on there?
Denmark is on there, number 3rd. 3rd on the list, yeah.
Number 3rd.
Number 3rd.
New Zealand normally ranks quite well.
Number 2.
Number 2, yep. Do I just keep going?
I mean, honestly, you're doing really well. So, like, give it a couple more goes. I don't think you've got one. Oh, you got Japan wrong. That was the only one.
Japan wrong. Okay, other free
countries. I would have done so much worse at this.
Is Iceland on there?
Iceland not on there. No. Okay, you done? We give up. Yeah. We could be here for a while. I just wanted to say you did very well.
Thank you.
At that list. So, okay. Number 1, Switzerland or Sweden. I don't know. I can't remember. 9.11.
Oh, nice.
That seems pretty good, pretty high. I mean, obviously, these are only like point something of a difference. You know, I was obviously teasing America a little bit, but they were only like point something behind us. So obviously, we're pretty free when it comes to it.
But just slightly more.
But just remember. Slightly more. Yes, New Zealand 9.01, Denmark 8.98, Estonia 8.91, Ireland 8.9. I'm actually a little bit surprised about Ireland, but that's interesting.
Why?
Canada.
Because of their troubles.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Like you just
You
kind
still think of them in the troubles.
Yeah, I just kind of like relate one to the other, but that's not necessarily.
Isn't that the most British thing to call it, by the way? There's some kind of like civil war going on in Ireland and they call it the Troubles.
Just the troubles.
Well, they're having some troubles over there in Ireland, aren't they?
Yes, no, 6. Canada, 8.85. Finland, 8.85 as well. Ooh. Australia, 8.84. Sweden, 8.83. Or Switzerland, I can't remember. Luxembourg, 8.80 was the last one. Wow. So interesting. And do you want to hear the top 10 countries with the lowest human freedom indexes?
It's going to make me sad, but sure.
Yes. Actually,
North
I'm
Korea?
surprised that some aren't on here. That's not even on here.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, you'd hate to have less freedom than North Korea.
Yeah. Syria, 3.66.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
That is the worst. Venezuela, 4.03.
Yeah.
That's funny, right? Between Syria and Venezuela, that's actually quite a big difference. You know, before I was talking about, it's only points, a little bit difference between the top countries, and still only not that much, 3.6 to 4.03. But it's a more significant gap than the ones at the top, which is a little bit depressing.
Venezuela's had some pretty sweeping dictatorial style leadership in the past.
Yep. Yemen, 4.08. Sudan, 4.48. Egypt, 4.49. Iran, 4.53. Somalia, 4.93. Burundi, 5.02. Tied with Iraq, 5.02. And Libya, 5.05.
It is interesting hearing them read out. I am so curious how many of them have had governments disabled because of Western interference.
That's right.
I can know a few of them have just for that list, and I don't know enough about the others to really tell, but I'm going to suspect maybe.
It's really interesting, isn't it? But I just thought that was a bit of interesting list. I also think I wanted to point out, perhaps, that making a bit of fun of the Americans that say we don't have freedom, but I think we inherently know that that's like actually a small amount of Americans that say that. We don't assume all you Americans, especially our lovely listeners, actually think that. We know that it's like the same sort of
the vocal minority.
The same percentage of Australians that think, I don't know, Australia's just best in
our country. No one else was here before.
Same sort of mentality. I guess.
And again, for those small percentages, we've said this before, but you can own a gun here.
Mm-hmm.
My dad has a ton of guns. It's not illegal to own guns.
Can he own an automatic rifle, Cambo?
I tell you what, he doesn't have any like semi-automatic assault weapons. I will give him that.
Yeah. Well, I want to run around with an Uzi, Cambo. So
actually, I think you can actually get a license for it.
I don't think you can.
No, I'm talking as in like military, like for military use. Like
maybe
but for private ownership.
Yeah. I mean, our military does have automatic weapons. That would be funny if we came in with like revolvers. Just an army of people coming out like pew pew.
If you
pew.
put out
reload.
If you put out an Uzi, people wouldn't be like, "What is that?" I've never seen that before in my life.
All right, Kembo, let's move on into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by Karen Video Editor. If you want your videos edited, go to Karen. If one of your friends had an I know a guy moment and then called you, what would they be calling you for?
This happens to me at trivia nights.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah,
I think you've actually done it before at a trivia night as well, you and your brother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Actually, do you know when I've done it before? Is my family will do crosswords. Mm-hmm. And they'll occasionally these clues will come up in crosswords. I'm like, I'll just text Camper. Yeah. He'll know.
It's always movies, isn't it?
Yeah. It's always.
I would say now, specifically the niche of cancelled movies, I would probably also be the guy that people know.
That subcategory.
Yeah.
That's true. Do you ever find it a burden to be that guy?
No. No, honestly, I like it.
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
Morning, afternoon, or night. Doesn't matter.
Give me a
Cambo
call.
will answer your call and answer your movie trivia. No matter what he's doing.
I can imagine them being like, 2 a.m. You get a phone call. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, who directed Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
Rob Cohen. Okay, thanks. No problem.
Is it always Rob Cohen?
No, he directed the first one.
Oh. What about all the other ones?
John Singleton directed the second one.
Yeah.
Justin Lin directed the third, fourth, fifth.
Jazzy, yeah.
And sixth.
Yeah.
Then was James Wan, 7th. F. Gary Gray, the 8th.
F. Gary Gray, the 8th. This sounds royal.
Yeah, it does. Justin Lin came back, and then he directed for the 9th, and then directed some of the 10th before leaving.
Oh,
for creative differences.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the day after Vin Diesel put out a video being like, everything's fine, and Justin Lin and I are friends, and then he left. Was replaced by Louis Leterrier.
Right. That is interesting that he left, considering he had done 8. Did you say just one previous movie?
No, he did 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's the one that
9,
did the most. Yeah. So weird that he was like, this time though. This one.
I reckon it's when he's like, I'm going to pull down 2 helicopters with my car.
Yeah,
I got to leave.
Yeah. What is this? But then the crazy thing is, he saw the movie and he was like, brilliant. Why didn't I stay on with this? It was so good. Yes. Anyway, that's
was that a good side note? I don't know.
I
because think about this. I could have been lying.
Yeah,
I spoke with confidence. But
yeah. I couldn't even come up with names to just
like
lie
Louis
on the
Leterrier.
spot. Yeah. I'd be like, Paul, Luke, Peter, John.
Tim.
They're the apostles.
That's what their collective director name is.
Yeah.
Directed by the apostles.
Oh, that's pretty good. We should start that campaign.
We're not in it because neither of us have the name of apostles, but we will start the apostles.
We'll start the apostles and only hire people with those names. Yeah, I don't know what I would be called
Coda?
for. Not even then. There's other people.
But to
and
you,
nobody
to me,
ever, that doesn't ever come up in trivia. Hey, who's the...
What kind of raid is a fucking magic class? Cornelston, I don't know.
I do sometimes get it. It's funny. It's like how, I think I've spoken about this before, but how my personality, what I say to people, I'm into video games, I like video games. Yeah. And that's that's too generic, because then, like, I had very super lovely woman at my work say she was also in video games, and then talk to me for quite a long time about all the different sort of Mario type 2D platformers that she has played. And I was like, this is not the type of video games that I'm interested in. There's not actually a correlation here, particularly in esports. And say, oh, somebody's into esports. Yeah. And I used to get this a lot. I did sort of, I want to say, like, loose, unpaid consultants work for the cinema that we used to work for whenever. And in fact, even only 6 months ago, I got another call asking about something that was happening, because they're like, Nelson, he likes esports.
So
and then
they know a guy.
They know a guy. But they normally call me and I'll be like, I don't know that esport, or like that particular event is so like niche. Like you have
We're
to
doing
be
Counter-Strike.
within
that's
the
not what
scene.
I'm
Yeah, exactly. Actually, Counter-Strike, I think I'd be sort of okay about. But yeah, just like
I'm impressed I pulled one out.
Yeah, it's a good job. It's because it's the only one that you played when you were younger that is also still an.
I didn't play it.
What? You never played Counter-Strike?
No.
Oh my god!
Is it like military?
I just thought like
based on the
everybody played
name.
Counter-Strike.
Is it like military style Call of Duty-esque?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it's not as in-depth as that. There's terrorists and counter-terrorists.
Okay, right.
And you shoot each other. And the terrorists try to plant a bomb and the counter-terrorists try to defuse it.
There's a strike.
Yeah.
But also there's a counter-strike.
Yeah, that's right.
I played Age of Empires.
Oh, yeah,
and that came free with a cereal I brought.
Yeah, that was
from Kellogg's.
That was a great moment in history. Okay. Do you remember? Yeah, all right, let's move on.
Yeah.
To Today I Advice.
So now it's time for Today I Learned.
Today I Learned.
And also sometimes advice.
This Today I Learned is by Zenith TSF Today I learned there was a briefly popular social movement in the early 1930s called the technocracy movement. Technocrats proposed replacing politicians and businessmen with scientists and engineers who had the expertise to manage the economy.
I've just learnt the word technocrat.
Yeah, technocrat. Yeah, it's kind of a cool word, isn't
Yeah.
it? I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Sounds like a transformer.
Yeah,
I know the technocrats are here.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think this is one of the things like communism, where in theory this sounds really good, but in practice it doesn't work?
Do you know the reason why I don't think it will work?
Why?
Is because we will ruin the lives of many scientists and
Yeah,
engineers.
no, that's what I think. It's like being a politician is so specific.
It's like we have politicians because they are the only human beings in the world that are scummy enough to do that job. It's like they are not in any way the best people.
I forget that there's a particular comedian, I forget which one it is, but they have a whole routine about if as far as presidents go, if you're the person that goes, I think I should lead everyone, that should actually disqualify you from being the president. Just that mindset at all. And I think that's the thing with politicians is, a lot of these people probably don't want to be in charge of the entire economy because it's a fucking burden.
I think I would like to extend what Jack Black said in the movie School of Rock.
Oh,
where
skadoosh.
those skadoosh, where those who can't teach, those who can't do teach, those who can't teach do PE. Yeah. Those who can't do PE become politicians. Because to me, it's like the lowest rung on anything. It's like you have basically no skills at anything else. Yeah. And you're like, I'll just be the guy that kind of...
But you have like a dark blue suit.
Yeah. But in theory, I think this is such a great idea. I mean, really, because... There is even the idea, right, like that a government, president, prime minister has like advisors and people that look after certain departments and things like this, and they're all meant to kind of gather expertise and, present that. But that obviously doesn't happen because political parties have motivations. Yeah. And it's not... And so I think that this... technocracy movement, the idea would sort of never work because it kind of it was meant to be that way to begin with. Yeah. But it just never really got there because you had scientists and that said something as simple as, oh yeah, climate change, real big problem. These are the things you're going to need to shut down. Coal, for one. Oh, get rid of that. Yeah. And then our politicians were like, whoa, what? Coal? Oil? No, thank you. This is the stuff that we thrive on.
Yeah. Actually makes us billions and billions of dollars in revenue every year.
Yeah. And so just, that's why it would just never work, I think, because you can't... Anybody that just relies on that would, I don't know, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
There would be
I think that maybe the 1930s are the key reason behind this, but techocracy is maybe giving too much faith in human beings.
Yeah.
That we now in subsequent decades have learnt is not to be relied on.
Yeah. In a perfect world, maybe this would work. In a perfect world, we just wouldn't have politics at all, would we? We just have people that just sort of study stuff, work it out, and be like, hey, this is what we need to do. And then as a society, we're like, yeah, cool. We all roll up our sleeves and have a go together. But yes, otherwise, love that idea. Let's move on again, Cambo, into shower thoughts.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Yep. Goddamn idiot.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Uni by Polly. Considering the number of Mission Impossible movies out, the missions don't seem so impossible anymore.
They would be for anyone else, I can tell you that.
That's what they don't tell you. They say this mission is impossible for anyone else. They kind of whisper that part.
And to be fair, to the credit of those movies, they do kind of make fun, lampshade, if you will, that fact in the new movie.
Yeah,
about how you know, there's one guy that we go to and we just kind of see if he'll help us.
Yeah. And what's the line? And he can choose to accept it?
Whether he chooses to accept it or not.
Yeah.
And they finally, they finally actually say what the IMF stands for. I think for maybe the first time in those movies,
right?
Which is the Impossible Mission Force.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Yeah.
What a stupid idea.
Remember that this is based on a TV show from the 60s. When things like that were cool.
Yeah. It's still cool, Camper.
Yeah, it's still cool.
Impossible Mission Force. Yes, please.
In fact, he should fail at least one, and then they go, remember, this was Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
He actually couldn't have done it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I like the idea that he goes around bragging afterwards. Guys, they thought that was impossible. Guess what I just did? And they're like, don't you mean we? He's like, guess what I just did?
Simon Pegg's like, yes, sir. Yes.
We saw the Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
Has it come out yet?
Yeah.
Has the embargo been lifted, Canberra?
Yeah.
I don't think I signed anything.
It came out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. But we were among the first.
Yeah. You just wanted to brag that we saw it early.
We saw it, guys.
And they were like, you shut the fuck up about this movie. I swear to God, we'll kill you if you talk about this movie. But then when it's out, please talk about this movie.
Yeah, we really want people to come.
I love how they try and get around it now because there's review embargoes if you go to an early screening.
Yeah.
But they go, we'd love to see your reaction to the movie.
Yeah.
If you wanted to post your reaction.
Yeah.
Don't review it, but just let people know what you thought of it.
Yeah,
in a reaction.
Do it. Post an emoji.
Yeah.
That's what we want. It is funny. I also love at the very end of the movie, there's people there with little forms you fill out that say, what did you think of the movie? What are your responses? And it's just so that, at the start of any like trailer or something where they're like, here are some reviews. Wow, can't believe how good that was. That's just what it's for.
You can tell the difference in a movie. So for something like Mission Impossible has been quite well critically reviewed. So they will get New York Times and Variety.
Yeah.
I think it was the movie Morbius was Twitter reactions. People were like, yeah, so much fun from this person on Twitter.
Yeah.
Where they have to source the quotes from, I think says a lot about how a movie is being received.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And the difference is they either say where it's from or they don't, I feel like mostly. It's like,
I love
this is something somebody said in the office about a donut, but
a quote that doesn't have someone's name attached to it.
Yeah.
I've seen it before where it starts with like one and then it has like, the citation of where it's from. And then the subsequent ones don't.
Yeah.
And they've got you into the pattern of being like, see, this one's from Variety.
Yeah.
Here are a few more. Hang on.
Like, I'm sold.
Yeah, they just stopped giving source for the quotes and they're just putting words in quotation marks now. Amazing. Spectacular.
Yeah. Well, Camber, what is your review of Mission Impossible for the people that haven't seen it? Those idiots that haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I'll do an emoji.
Yeah.
Sunglasses, guy smiling.
Oh.
So take from that what you will.
Okay. I'm gonna give it the emoji that's like a guy who's got that shocked look, but he's also like kind of like ghostly white at the bottom. His eyes are a bit like white. It's a really odd reaction.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're like, I think that's a good thing.
But I have questions.
He's really surprised, but it's not a normal surprise face. Yeah. It's better than that. Yeah, it's a good movie. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Podnapping.
I tried to play this before just to hurry you along, but you weren't having it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping. This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves. This week's my week.
Yeah, Nelson, you have brought people internationally onto this show explained nothing, got timings wrong. It's been a big kerfuffle.
Yeah.
What are you planning?
Well, I thought I'd do what I'm going to call is like a classic now, I think.
Okay.
In the world in general. And we're going to play Family Feud.
Okay.
So I've got a few questions here. Depending on how long it takes, I don't know. I've got a few questions, but the last question definitely will be related to the podcast.
Yes. Okay.
And I didn't poll 100 people, Cambo.
Okay. So I assume I'm working with the guests that we have on. Do you want to explain who we have with us?
Well, you're going to be working with some of the guests. Okay. At the moment, we have Hallie, Liz, and Maggie. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yay!
Hey.
Thanks for coming on, guys. I really appreciate it. But let's be honest, you probably weren't up to much anyway. So you're welcome.
Straight in with the neck.
Yeah. So I think the way we should do this maybe is just in order. I'm going to say. So how about Cambo and Hallie in a team, a family perhaps, and then Liz and Maggie in another team, another family. But the first thing I'm going to need from you is your family names.
Oh, Hallie. Okay, we need a family name. Should we somehow combine our two last names, do you think?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Have you anything?
No, well, the question is, do we take the start of my last name or the start of your last name and then the end of my last name or end of your last name?
Cam Fleur? Is that
Chef Bell?
Chef Bell? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mine's Scheif. Scheifler.
Scheifler. Oh, yeah.
So how about Scheif Bell?
Scheif Bell.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that
works.
works. Bell is easy to add on the end of anything.
That's a swear word in German.
Scheif Bell!
Yeah. Okay, Scheif Bell and Liz and Maggie, what are you thinking?
We're taking the loophole, and we are calling our team the Fuckhead Podcast listeners.
Oh, smart. Yeah.
I'm intimidated now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Feeling rude.
Okay, then let's go into the first question, which I didn't get up earlier, so just talking amongst yourselves for a second. Okay. Oh, wait. Also, I should say, probably technically you could cheat. But don't. Because
well, they say that at the start of every episode of Family Feud.
Yeah,
Look, technically you could cheat, but don't.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, first up, give me Liz.
What?
Yeah, that's what they say at the start. And then you two both come up to the platform, and then you have to answer the first one. So Hallie and Maggie don't answer just yet.
Okay, right.
This is to see who
is
goes
this a good
first.
time to say? What was that, sorry?
We have our hands behind our back, and we just have to hit the thing real quick. We
Yeah.
say our name.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Is this a good time to mention I don't super know Family Feud?
There's nothing to know about it.
That is awesome. It's a benefit to
the other team.
Sorry, Hallie.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is...
So we say our names are the buzzers.
Yeah. Okay.
And
well, no, I'll be able to distinguish between you. Whoever answers first.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay. Use your name is the buzzers.
Well,
name
I'm
is the
just
buzzers.
saying that I don't want to say that I have an advantage, but I think there is a slight delay in international.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. I will determine if there's a delay.
Okay.
If the names are said at the exact same time, then Liz wins because of the slight delay. Okay. Anyway, all right. Names are buzzers. The first one is name a house you never want to be in.
Michael.
Oh,
I call myself Michael.
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
weird.
interesting. It's a reflex.
Yeah, in a short period of time. Okay, go quick.
The White House. Too many sex creeps in there.
Not on the board. Liz, would you like to have a go?
A haunted house.
A haunted house is on the board. It's number one at 27 points.
I'm sorry. I'm going to say by definition, the White House must be a haunted house by now. So many presidents have died in there.
And
I think it's probably the best answer, so I'm surprised it's not on the board. But...
literal skeletons in the closet, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Liz, would you like to pass or play?
Let's play.
Let's play. Okay, cool. All right, that means Maggie, it's your go now. Name a house you never want to be in.
A cold one.
A cold house.
Okay.
It's not on the list. It was a good answer there. Good answer. Not on the list. That's first strike, unfortunately. All right, back to you,
Do
Liz.
they get 3 strikes?
Yes, 3 strikes. And then you get it, and then I think you get the points if... I don't
So
know.
wait,
I'm working
you don't
it
know
out as
how
I get.
families
I
work?
like vaguely know. Liz, back to you. Name a house you never want to be in.
Oh man, I already had my good answer. An ex's house.
Oh.
An ex's house. Oh,
That's
good
good.
answer. Good answer. No, not on the board.
It's on the board.
It's not on this board. Okay, that's 2 strikes. Maggie, your turn. Name a house you never want to be in.
Oh, can I pass it back to Liz?
I will allow you to confer because I think they sort of sometimes do that on the show. I don't really know.
I don't think that I have any more answers. Let's see. I don't know. All mine have all fallen. Steve Harvey's house. Because he's the host.
Oh, yeah. Not on the board, unfortunately.
Oh,
Imagine if it was and he was hosting Family Feud. And he was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, what? Oh, my house.
all the
Okay.
answers on that are just for his enjoyment anyway. So.
Okay. Hallie and Cambo. Now, I believe the way this works is you two discuss amongst each other.
Okay.
A couple of different answers, and then you can only choose one. One that you're most comfortable with. And if that's on the board, then I think you get all the points
Oh, sweet. Okay.
that are currently up for grabs, which is 27.
I'm certainly glad that you think that's maybe how it works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so this is a difficult one, Hallie. The only thing I could think of is an outhouse.
Oh, that's part of my thoughts. I was thinking a dilapidated house and an infested house.
Oh yeah, like a rat or a bug infested house is good. Or
I kind of like outhouse. I think that's a better pick.
okay? Do you want to go outhouse?
Yeah, let's go outhouse. That's better.
Mr. Ellingham, we're going to lock in outhouse.
Okay. Well, let's see if it's on the board. In number 1 spot, Haunted House for 27 points.
Then White House.
Second spot, Jail / The Big House for 11 points.
Okay, yeah.
Third, Dog House for 8 points. Fourth, Drug House for 7 points.
Drug house.
Small House for 7 points.
Oh, okay, that seems insulting to me and my small house.
Glass House.
Okay, metaphorically. Okay.
Metaphorical, I guess. Well, it could be literal. I don't know. Cat House. For those people who forgot what a dog house is, I guess. I don't know. It's
Smaller
weird.
dog house?
Yeah, I guess so. In last place, Outhouse.
Yay!
Oh, they've got it. They've got it. Only 5 points for that one, but that means you get the full points. I think you get the total, which is 32, 27 plus 5. Wait, everyone just check that maths because I did give everybody the wrong time period at the start. Yeah, 27 plus 5, 32. Cool. All right. Okay, time for the second question. I need Maggie and I need Haley. All right, so remember...
Hallie.
What did I say? Haley. My brain is not working at the moment. Hallie.
I just want everyone to know that
Maggie.
Nelson is furiously typing between several devices during this whole game. So I don't know what system he is running here, but you'll have to forgive him being out of sorts.
It's messy. I feel like that's the first time I've ever called Hallie. So
In our personal lives, you call her Haley all the time.
yeah, that's true.
For years, you've gotten it right.
Okay.
And you got her last name wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure I nailed it.
Close enough. He got it closer than I would have imagined, honestly. So
Yeah. Okay, so names are the buzzers. I will accept Haley or Hallie. Name something associated with vampires.
Hallie.
Oh.
Do you reckon it was Hallie just a fraction before, perhaps?
I mean, she's on my team, so yes, I definitely think.
I think it was. I think it was. Okay, Hallie, what are you going with?
Fangs.
Fangs is on the list for 4 points.
4 points.
I think, does it go straight to you, or does
I think, again,
Maggie
not
have
knowing much,
a chance
if
to
Maggie's is
get
higher,
higher?
If Maggie's is higher,
I think that's how it works.
goes to her.
Okay, Maggie, give us a go. What would you name something associated with the vampires?
Blood.
Blood. Oh, so Fangs was at 4 point. Bloodsucker, 29 points. Oh, okay. Would you like to pass or play?
What do you think, Liz?
I mean, I can think of like some vampires, but let's make them do all the thinking for a moment.
Yeah, we'll pass.
Okay.
All right, pass. All right, Cambo, let's go back to you then. Name something associated with vampires.
Bats.
Bats is on the list for 7 points. Hallie, name something associated with vampires.
Coffins?
Ooh.
Coffins.
I think they sleep in coffins.
Yeah.
That is a good. Well, I mean, if you go by the Buffy metaphor, they're angry, but that's what shows portrayed them as. Unfortunately, not on the list. I thought that was a good answer.
Yeah.
That's one strike so far. Cambo, back to you. Name something associated with vampires.
Dracula?
Dracula is on the list for 5 points. Woo, woo, woo. Hallie, name something associated with the vampires.
A cape?
A cave.
A cape.
Oh, a cape. Yes, cape is on the list for 7 points. Yes, good work. Cambe, back to you. Pressure's on.
Transylvania.
Transylvania. Is Transylvania on the list? Should I build some tension here?
Now you're going to throw it to an ad break.
Yeah. We'll find out right after this. No, Transylvania is not on the list. That's his second strike. Hallie, name something associated with a vampire.
Quick question. When someone said bats, did that also include flying?
I think I can only speak of me who answered it. I was thinking purely of the creature and not of their function.
I'm going to say I feel like I can't answer that. It's up to you to decide whether they are two different things or not.
Okay. I will go with flying then.
Fine. No, it's not on the list, unfortunately. That's third strike. So now we pass it over to Liz and Maggie. Liz, Maggie, you want to discuss between yourselves and decide if you can get that.
We have a few things that we're thinking. We have bites and sunlight, and is bites just too close to blood sucking, do you think? Or should we go with bites? Feeling alone?
Yeah, I was hoping they could inform us on whether that would be too close. But I don't know. Bites is good, but then is it the same as blood sucking?
Yeah. And
I
then
don't know.
sunlight's not good with it. Even if they're sparkly ones, and the sunlight is still not good for them. So should we go with that one?
It's up to you. You decide.
Man. All right, I'm gonna decide sunlight.
Sunlight. Well, let's go through the list and see if it's on there. Number 1 at 33 points is Twilight.
Aha.
Number 2 was Bloodsucker, 29 points. Third was Garlic for 9 points. Then we had Bat for 7, Cape for 7, Dracula for 5, Fangs for 4, and the last one Halloween for 4. No sunlight. Yeah, I really thought the sunlight would be up there on the list, but unfortunately not. All right, let's do another one. I feel like should we do my one, or I've got one in between?
I reckon let's go to your one.
All right, let's do my one. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Okay, so this one, I feel like we should do maybe a little bit differently. No, actually, you know what? Nah, let's do it the same way. Okay, but just for
technically
context,
on the game show, they multiply this last round by 3 points to give the team that has nothing us a slight chance.
Okay,
Are you comfortable,
you know what?
Are you comfortable with that maths?
Well, I was going to say that
No.
Actually, we do need to do this. Everyone in this round is worth 10 points.
Okay, yeah.
Because I've just thought up of them. But actually, I also got Stacey to help me out with a couple too because I didn't feel like I had enough. So everyone is worth 10 points. You guys are currently on 84 points altogether.
Great.
But I think there's only 8 answers. So this round is going to be multiplied by 2, let's say.
Okay.
So everyone is 20 with
points.
20 points. Okay. Okay, so who are we back to? Cambo and Liz.
Yeah.
Names for buzzers.
Yeah.
What reason would Cambo and Nelson stop the podcast?
Cambo. 1,000 crisp dollars.
$1,000. Could you provide any more information?
I mean, a payment from a listener of $1,000 as a bribe. Sure. I don't know what information.
I think maybe technically I'll have to let you have it.
Well, how about Liz? If she gets it closer,
okay, yeah, Liz. If you get that same answer but closer, then I'll award you with the win.
I was just going to say that you'll both have to drop dead simultaneously for the podcast to stop, I thought, because that's what you always conveyed. So
we've tried to make it very clear that we will stop for $1,000.
Do you know what?
No. You both have to drop dead for the. That's my answer. That's what it'll have to take.
Okay, I'm going to give it to Liz, but you do also have this extra clue then that Kevin is extremely close. I feel like there's one caveat of that just has to be added.
Can I, we'll say that Liz won, but is it $1,000 each?
It is $1,000 each.
Sorry,
that was a very important caveat, Gambler. We would not just be, you couldn't have $500 each. What are you, crazy? That's way too low. $1,000 each. Absolutely, we will give up on the show. Okay, so let's...
$1,000 Canadian, American, New Zealand, or Australian?
Look, we'd take it in US because that's going to benefit us.
Probably whatever country you're from would almost be better.
Could we get screwed that way?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so Liz, would you like to pass or play? So I'm saying that you've technically got 2 answers at the moment. You've got the we would die. That one was one of them dies / is unable to go on with the show, and we are both given $1,000 each. Pass or play?
I'm. Let's pass because
pass. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Cambo. Hallie?
I think it's Haley.
Sorry. Oh, my God. I've been getting that wrong for years. Wait, who are we up to? Hallie, I think, starting this time?
Yes.
Yes. Hallie, what have you got? What reasons would Cambo and I stop the podcast?
All right. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, for no reason at all, you guys would stop the podcast.
Just because.
Yeah, you need no reason to stop the podcast.
I think I'm going to say... I'm going to say... It's hard because some of these are slightly interpretive. I will say not on the list.
Not on the list, okay.
Yeah. Actually, I think that was on Stacey's list that I didn't include. Sorry, not on the list, I'm going to say. All right, Cambo.
We hit 1,000 episodes.
Ooh. Oh, good answer. Not on the list.
But that is what we've said in the past.
Have we? I don't remember. Okay, Hallie.
I think that's kind of what I was going to go with. You don't have enough numbers. Let me see. A reason you guys would stop the podcast.
Now, I'm just talking to no one in particular here, but we've never missed a week. I'm just going to, in conversation, say that Nelson and I have never missed a week.
No, not that I got any sort of
Oh, sorry, I wasn't talking to you,
inspiration.
Hallie. I wasn't talking to you. Sorry, yeah.
I don't think I got any sort of inspiration, but I believe you guys have said that if you did miss a week, you just wouldn't pick it back up. So if you missed a week,
They miss a week and decide, fuck it, let's give up. That is on the board.
Oh, well done, Hallie.
That's
yeah.
another 20 on there. Cambo, back to you.
Yeah. I think we've once joked that we do this because we were cursed. If the curse is lifted,
I've come up with another reason why I thought I'm going to say this is part of the same one, but
Okay.
I put the contract they made with the devil is somehow void.
Yeah.
That's another 20 points.
Yeah, great.
Hallie, back to you. I don't
All
want
right,
to
just
put the pressure on, but you are 4 points. But oh no, wait, sorry. You are no. If it passes and then they get one, then they will win. Because you've got just enough now.
And this is our last. If we
Yeah.
get this wrong, it passes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so no pressure or anything.
All right, Cambo, I think I'm about to lose it for us. Just because of how much you debated over my first answer of you need no reason, I think I'm going to go with any reason. Any reason.
That was exactly what I was debating on. I have literally any excuse to stop the show. That's another 20 points. Oh, back to you, Cambo. We're like, yeah,
Okay, geez.
you've got a lot of ones that honestly I'm surprised about.
Yeah, why else would we stop? One of us died.
That was the first one. Well, yeah, it was both died,
yeah.
but I'm putting that
Okay,
as
that's the
first
same
one.
category. Okay.
I suppose I'll let you have another go.
You know
You would
what?
see them on the board.
Through the
perhaps.
spirit of competition,
Yeah.
let's say I got that wrong, because I do want to hear what Liz and Maggie
Okay,
have to
all right. Liz and Maggie, discuss amongst yourselves, but also loudly to us, what you think one of the few remaining answers might be. It's honestly a bit tricky now. This
Well,
could
we
be
have-
for the win. No pressure, but
we
this could definitely be
also
for the win.
were thinking of the no reason at all, and then that got said. So,
Mhm.
we've been thinking about if Reddit dies, then maybe the podcast has
Yeah.
to die too.
Mhm.
And then also
that sounded like
maybe
a confused response for maybe not that. Like, oh, I'd never thought of that before.
So I should point out that was
he's learning
me.
about this for the first time. He doesn't count.
Yeah, that was
Um,
me, Maggie.
and
That
then-
I made that noise because I hadn't heard it before. Nelson has been quite stone-faced, I must admit.
And then we've also wondered aloud if because I'm wondering aloud now if the recording glitched and erased just one too many times, and you said, okay, that's that. So I think that's my answer, although I do enjoy that Reddit dies answer. So which do you think, Maggie?
It's up to you.
Oh man, why is it always me? Let's go with if Reddit dies.
If Reddit dies, let's go through the list, shall we? In the number ones, they're all the same points, so there's no real ranking, but this is what I've got on the list.
Okay.
They are both given $1,000 each.
Yep.
One of them dies / is unable to go with the show. Literally any excuse to stop the show. The contract they made with the devil is somehow void.
Yeah.
The world ends. They run out of podnapping ideas.
Oh, that's close.
They miss a week and decide to fuck it. Let's give up. They're just waiting for someone to suggest quitting, and as soon as that happens, they'll say, good idea. Reddit no longer exists for the final done. 20
done.
points. Oh my God, it's a come from behind victory. Now 120 points for that team to a measly.
Can you just say the team's name really quick with our names so I can maybe isolate that?
Liz, Fuckhead Podcast listener, and Maggie, Fuckhead Podcast listener, the Fuckhead Podcast listener family, if you will, has won the round.
Now, legally, we need to say that the family name is distinct from the actual rank of Fuckhead Podcast listener for those listening. Just have to legally make that distinction.
Yeah, I mean...
But it was a good loophole, though.
We have
nobody
good
else has tried to do it yet.
You have...
So you're one step closer.
You have made Nelson say it. So well done on that. But the Reddit on Reddit podcast has no association with the Fuckhead Podcast listener family.
Coincidence. Just total coincidence. Who knew? But look, I'll say you're one step closer.
Oh,
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
definitely.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
We
good.
respect that hustle.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's right. All right. Well, that's it. Thanks, everybody, for playing with us. Hallie and Liz and Maggie, we really appreciate you coming on. And I think that that's like 2 weeks worth of podnappings, right?
Yeah, it's one of the longest podnappings we've ever done.
Yeah, so cool. Guess I won't do next week's. All right, well, that's all we got time for, let's be honest.
Yeah. This one's going way too long.
Yeah, so it's time for the Ask Me Anything. No, it's not. It's time to end the show.
Get out of here.
But if you'd like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast @gmail.com.
Yep.
You can also reach us at our subreddit.
Yeah, correct.
Reddit podcast.
Yep.
And our Discord. It's in the show
We're
notes.
off Twitter. Will we join Threads? No.
Oh, I don't even know what Threads is. Am I so out of it? What's Threads?
It's the Facebook equivalent to Twitter that they've just launched a couple of weeks ago.
I mean, smart.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm getting on it just in protest.
You need an Instagram account, so I don't think you will.
Okay. That's the one thing I refuse.
And also really dodgy. You make it with your Instagram account, and then this may have changed since we recorded, but there doesn't seem to be a way to delete your Threads account without also deleting your Instagram account.
Doubly smart campaign. Yeah. Oh my God. They're locking everybody in.
Yeah. Anyway, our subreddit.
Yeah.
And Discord.
Or Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we got people from the show earlier.
Yeah, that's right. So thanks for listening, and we will read you later.
Also, rate and review the show.
Read you later.